Morning, URA Gold Panner here. Another spring morning on the walnut bottoms. I did get to upgrade my sticks. I have some fresh beaver sticks that I found on the walk in, so I'm marking the location of where I'm going to dig towards today. I got like 0.28 last time, and that was really good. So I'm gonna try to beat that today. Hopefully the material's still just as good. And I've got a little bit different of a setup here. I'm going to rough pan these down and just get a glimpse of what gold's in there, not worry about the gold going down in the black sand and stuff. Do a quick pan back, and then I'm going to throw all that stuff with the gold in it, all that black sand with the gold in it, into my bucket, and then take that home and mini sluice it out at home. So we'll see how that goes today, and maybe I can beat 0.28. That would be great if I could beat 0.3, but we'll see. You never know. All right, it's taken me like an hour to figure out what's going on. My main bedrock V seems to have changed. It's full of like fresher overburden, so I'm having to move to the right a little bit, focus more on this bedrock. So this is what I've got right now. There's like, a thin layer of clay or sandy gray clay on top of the bedrock material. So I'm trying to focus there. So it took me like an hour to finally find like a 20-piece pan, 3 shovelfuls. So unfortunately, the early start I got didn't help me so much today. So we'll see how it goes, how it continues to go. If I can figure out what exactly is going on with the material. Well, it's 3 o'clock, and I think my day kind of went bust. I had visions of digging 20 pieces of pan all day and digging a lot of material because I was going to dump it in the bucket over there and sluice it out when I get home. But as soon as I started digging, right where I left off last time, I was getting 20 pieces of pan. I wasn't getting 20 pieces of pan. The material changed a little bit. It was more of just like flood material on top of decomposing bedrock. Whereas back here, or this whole stretch that I've been digging closer to the bank, there's like a couple of inches to 6 inches right up against the bank. There's like 6 inches of a firm clay material. And when I hit a little bit of that remnant clay material on top of the bedrock out here, close to those poles, I did get like 20 pieces of pan, but it was only a couple of pans all day. And so I went across the creek and was test panning over there closer to the bank, and I'm getting some different kind of material. It's a really hard clay, but it does have a lot of sand and stuff in it. And there's 2 types. There's like a light gray, and then there's the bedrocky dark gray. So I did 1 test pan over there already and got some interesting results. I got like 10 pieces, and so I'm going to try it again just to kind of wrap up the day, because I'm pretty disappointed my really good material ran out. Bummer. That was 3 shovelfuls of that hard clay from the other side of the bank. And I don't know if the lead shot are must be laying on top of the clay, because that's really hard clay. And so I'm not sure if that gold is coming from in the clay itself, or it's also laying on top, or what, there's like 10 pieces there. Nothing particularly big. It's kind of like what I was getting a lot today. It's a neat looking deposit. I'm going to poke around over there a little bit more. Maybe go towards the leading edge of it where that clay's shallower and see what that looks like. All right, I just dug my last pan. I came in towards the middle of the stream from that spot I was digging that had the hard clay. I was looking for a little bit looser clay, and maybe the creek had run on it more and got more gold accumulated in it. But this is what that last pan looks like. It's got a decent black sands and about a dozen pieces of gold there, but they're small. So, and a piece of lead shot and a piece of that barbed wire fence. It's been in the creek for a while. Yeah, digging on that side of the creek, I was getting a lot of that iron barbed wire fence. That's it for the day. So this is the black sands I got for the day. It does look like a fair amount more, maybe 50% more than what I got last time I was here when I got the 0.28 grams. Look at that level. It's almost halfway full on I think that's a 1 gallon bucket. So I did do a lot more material, and I didn't get on the pans with a ton of black sand, so we'll see how it turns out. I'm not optimistic though. I'm hoping at least 0.15 grams for this outing. Alright, here's my home setup. I've got a dream mat, a mini sluice, and I'm about a quarter of the way done with my bucket. I'm probably stop there and pan this out, see how much gold I've got. So you can kind of see in here if I get it to focus. There's some nice pieces in the upper cells. Nice piece there. There's a nice piece filling up the cell. And hopefully not too many further down. There's a piece in the J. But you don't want to see too much gold like past halfway. So I don't see any past that last piece which was about a third of the way down. So I could probably keep going, but I'm not in any rush, so I'm going to go ahead and pan this out. I think the trick is, since this is solid black sands, is just to feed this sluice really slowly. You don't want the cells to load up all the way down, and then just have the gold blow right through, because the J features are full of the black sand. So I think I did pretty good. I didn't see any gold past halfway, so I'm going to call it there. I'll show you what I have in there. So that little dream mat doesn't hold too much material, so that's nice. Pan it back here real quick just to show you what it looks like. I didn't see all those pellets in there. Usually I snuffer those pellets out when I see them in the mat. There they go. Here comes the gold. So that's for about a quarter of the thing. It's hard to say. Oh, I need to get some soap in there. There's some gold floating on the top of my pan. That looks pretty nice. Hard to say for the total though. We'll see when it's all done. All right, here's the second run. I did see a couple of pieces of gold down in the lower section earlier, but it looks like maybe they've gotten covered up or settled to the bottom. But I didn't see any like in the middle portion, and I just start getting to the top. Now I can see some. There's a little piece of the J right there. Here's some cells that are nice and loaded looking towards the top. So there we go. There's a nice flake right there. So yeah, nice loaded looking cells. So that's half of it so far. I did weigh it up. It weighed 13.2 pounds, so I had to carry that out yesterday. Alright, so here's how I do the sluice. I keep an eye on these upper cells, and I put a little bit in. Make sure to distribute it left to right, and then I let the top cells clear out. Most of your gold's going to drop out in those top cells, so let that clear out to make sure when the next little batch is introduced, it's got some place to drop out. So this is about the last of the third quarter of it, so I'll check this one. If you watch the sluice, you can see how it loads up and then works its way down and then clears out the bottom. That's what you want. You want all the cells to work, do some work, catch the heavies if you can, and keep your gold. Alright, for some reason you can see the gold better when the water's running. There's a little piece. There was a little piece there about halfway down. There it is. And then from there on up it gets better. Little pieces here and there. Upper cells get better. I guess because maybe the black sands are agitated and moving around and keeping the gold clear or something. When you turn the water off, it just settles on top of it. You can't hardly see the gold in there. Alright, there's the pan number 3. We've got one more pan to go. So, it doesn't look as big as it does in the cells. Alright, don't see much or any gold in the lower half there. And as you come up about in the middle, I do start, there's a lead shot in a cell, and then I do start seeing some gold there. Not much gold showing in this particular one, even in the top cells. That was the last quarter of the bucket, so Well, those first 3 quarters weren't very strong either, and this one looks weaker than those. Okay, we'll see. Alright, there's the 4th quarter of the material sluiced out. Doesn't look that great. Now I'm a little bit worried it's going to end up being around 0.1 grams, but we'll see. Get it going here. Okay, here's the snuffer dump from yesterday's panning. Quite a bit of lead shot in there. But not as much gold as I was hoping for. Plus no bigger pieces. There's a few nice little ones there, but not like what I've been getting in that spot. So might be kind of tapping out a little bit on that one, but we'll see. I'll get it dried up and weighed in a little while. Okay, here's the gold I got cleaned up out of the mini sluice, and I've teared off the little holder here, so let's see what the weight is. All right. 0.178 or 0.18. So that's actually in line with what I've gotten from that spot before. Some previous days I've gotten like 0.19, 0.18, so that's not quite as bad as I was fearing. Just this gold was smaller. didn't have many bigger flakes. So if I would have had bigger flakes or whatever, it would have been more. So not too bad. I'm going to have to see what's going to happen with the material. If I should keep digging there or not. Only the effort will tell.